My name is Alex Salazar, and I created the event Unlocking Potential to help people create SMART goals and solidify their vision.
When I was a senior in college as a resident advisor, he was a freshman who would come up to me in the dorms and he used to be like, I like what you do with that poetry. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it one day. And he's like, I'm gonna show you one of my poems. It's not good yet. And then he finally showed me one of his poems, and ever since then he's been growing, doing amazing. He actually performed at the World Championships for poetry, and he's been doing it for 2 years, and he's so everybody in Adonis.
Forgot to mention my Crocs.
And he's wearing wonderful Crocs today.
I am greatness. Greatest of all greats, master of all trades. I stepped in the ring with Ali, not even he wanted this fade. I am greatness. Living legend in his prime. They call me show baby because when I walk in, it's showtime. No need for me to move in silence. The earth quakes when I move. I'm hot like magma, not even Sub-Zero could be this cool. I am greatness. Now get ready for what you're about to witness, because when I'm done and Alex is done, everybody in this room is going to try and come and get this. That's one hell of a morning affirmation. To you, it may not seem like much, but to me, it's everything. It's the difference between being average and a king. Don't call me crazy. A positive mindset changed my life like a near-death experience. My eyes wide open to a new realm of reality. In my world, I am the shining star, and yes, you do revolve around me. Throughout the day, I can see the distress slither and creep like snakes in the grass trying to bring me low, but just know my mindset will mow them down. You can't hide from me. I live on my high horse. I hide in the trees. I'm in my own atmosphere. Chase the bag. Yeah, that's clear. I am greatness. I sweat perfection and piss away excellence. I'm on top. I can't be stopped. I'm number one. And negatives mean nothing to me when you have this mindset. I am greatness, and I never stop telling myself that. I'm not perfect. I have bad days. Shit ones even. But I know after a long day, I can be happy and successful. Without the bad days, there's no room for improvement. Just like without cause, there's really no reason for a movement. Bad days are the best part of my week because the next day, you can overcome and defeat the previous one. Embrace your failures. Keep moving forward and don't chill with the negatives. Unlock your potential and listen to what I'm telling you. It doesn't matter what happens. Remind yourself to be great. From the toothpaste that falls on your shirt, to the doorknob that seems to find its place in your belt loop, to the teachers who give you a pop quiz, to the dumbass boss that keeps telling you you're doing your job wrong, from sitting behind a train that stopped at a light, to the miserable key drop right in front of your door, from the times you feel less than average to the times you feel even worthless. No matter what happens, go home, look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself, I am greatness, greatest of all greats, master of all trades. You cannot be successful unless you embrace your bad days. Thank you.
A 3-month recruit, he was in Camp Pendleton. And in his time at Camp Pendleton, it was raining on a February, and he was cleaning his M16 rifle. So what Marines do when they're cleaning and when they're, they have an off day, is they clean, reorganize, and restock. So drill instructor Sergeant William summons him. He says, Salazar, get over here. So he runs over. Recruit Salazar as ordered, sir. He said, Salazar, I need you to go fill up all the bathroom stalls with toilet paper. So my dad stops, and he kind of questions it. And the reason why he was questioning it is because it was Sunday. And so on Sundays on Camp Pendleton, the PX is closed. And so he's like, well, if the place where I'm supposed to buy supplies is closed, I'm not allowed to go off base. I can see the supplies closet and it's empty. How am I supposed to fill up the room, or how am I supposed to fill up the bathroom stalls with toilet paper? So again, he's questioning, and then Sergeant Williams says, I'm not asking you to go fill up toilet paper. I'm telling you to go fill up the toilet paper. Get out of my face. So my dad is like, okay. So he runs out of the room, and in that moment, it no longer became, can I do this? It became, I have to do this, now how? Right? I have to do this, now how? So 5 seconds of thinking, he realized that the building next door, all of their recruits had graduated to San Diego. And he was like, oh wait, they're gone. So he runs over there, and he remembered a Marine saying. And one of the Marines saying is, Marines don't steal, but they do acquire. So he grabs all of the toilet paper that he can fit within his pockets, fills it in his shirt, runs over, fills up all of his stalls, runs up to drill instructor Sergeant Williams and says, okay, duty complete, sir. And Sergeant Williams gives him a little little smirk, and he says, "Great, get out of my face." And so in that moment, my dad realized that one of his biggest life lessons, that it's not about can I do this? It's always about I have to do this, now how? So that leads us into the first topic, be, do, have. So if I could only have a certain thing, I would do a certain thing, then I would be a certain way. That's how a lot of us approach life. If I could only have a certain thing, I would do a certain thing, and then I would be a certain way. Instead, what we should do is if I be a certain way, I will do certain things which will enable me to have what I want. So Isaiah, if I were to ask you to climb Mount Everest, what would you do? Okay, so find out the things that you would need to climb Mount Everest. Any other answers? That's fine. Yeah. Become physically ready to climb Mount Everest, sure. So what you're not going to do is if I task you, let's say I give you 5 years to climb Mount Everest. What you're not going to do after this event is you're not going to drive straight to REI, buy thousands of dollars worth of equipment, make sure that you have your thermal, make sure that you have all of the necessary camping materials that you need. You're not going to buy a plane ticket to Nepal and then go there and then do it little by little. Instead, what you're going to do is you're going to start with a little mountain. Then you're going to knock that out. Then you're going to start with another mountain. Then you're going to knock that out. And then you're going to try something with a different climate. And then you're like, oh, okay, I'm good at dry climate, not so good at wet climate. I need to practice this. And that's how you start to gain the tools required for you to climb Mount Everest. But a lot of us approach our goals as exactly, like I said, not to. And I think everybody in this room can agree how you should not climb Mount Everest. And that's, well, I need to have this in place first, right? I need to have all the supplies. I need to have the finances. I need to have everything in order first, and then I'll go ahead and I'll get to Mount Everest, right? And that's totally, totally backwards. So instead, you should try to embody what you want to be in order to do it. So if you can open up your folders, we're going to do the first little activity. So on the left side, you should see wish list. So under the wish list, I want you to write 3 characteristics that you want to embody this year. So I want to be strong. I want to be empathetic. I want to be kind-hearted. I want to be competitive, right, if you're in sports or business or anything. So write 3 things. I'll give you a minute. You just kind of shout them out. Thrifty. That fits, Mom. What else? Bold. Happy. Understanding. Productive. Resilient. Yes, these are all great things, right? This is what we should strive to be instead of focusing on the external of what I don't have, right? So that's what we do have is all about. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to talk about is after no, and that starts to wear down on you. And so I thought, damn, maybe I should answer this then. And then something dawned on me. I realized that I was projecting my insecurities for the amount of people I thought would come. I was projecting what basically my insecurities on others. And so I changed my mindset by saying, it's no one's responsibility but my own to make this event successful. It's not my friend's responsibility to make sure that they're there. It's not my mentor's responsibility to make sure they're there. It's my responsibility to make sure I get butts in that seat, right? Nobody else's. And so when I changed that mindset to that, and that's kind of one of the principles of Stoicism. So number 2 is don't fall prey to modern society's materialistic nature. I think nice things are okay, just make sure that's not what you're going for, right? That's not the end goal. That's the cool little things that you get along the journey of what your end goal should be. So that's just to touch on principle number 2 for a little bit. The third one, picture life without the people and possessions in them in order to truly appreciate them. So I want everybody in this room to close your eyes for a second. And I want you to picture what life would be like. What life would be like without the person you love the most. Take 30 seconds. Alone? Why did you feel alone? was kind of a scary thought, you said? Because it felt very real. Yeah.
They kind of point us or guide us. Because the people that you care about the most, you usually invest a lot of time and energy into. Without that, you wouldn't have to guide your emotions, guide your intent.
Yeah.
We see every day, so imagining me without my husband or my son is like, oh, whoa, just because I see them every day, I need to step back and say, wow, I'm really appreciative of their presence and not to push them in a common field.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's why this is one of the principles of Stoicism is, we'll see those Facebook posts, and I've actually written one of these Facebook posts before, but, when somebody deals with like a near-death experience, or they're, one of their family members is hospitalized, and they're like, okay, now I really need to start treasuring the people that I love in my life. Instead of doing that on a consistent basis and saying, look, like, life is not promised. That's just a reality. And so the similar theme, I don't know about you all, but when I'm on my deathbed or at my funeral, I want it to be a momentous occasion. I don't want people to brag about me in a way that we remember for being an asshole. We should remind ourselves that. What kind of legacy do I want to leave behind? And I think most of us want to leave that positive legacy. So be cheerful in all your interactions. The last one, practice your values, use preaching them. For those of you who knew me in college, I'm still stubborn, but I was extremely stubborn, and I used to say things like, oh, I'm a grinder, I put in work daily, 24/7, no rests, no naps, what is sleep? Sleep is for the weak. So the next thing is challenge networks. This is one of my favorite topics. So what a challenge network is, it's the collection of individuals in your life who hold you accountable for a specific area. So some of my mentors are actually in this room. Angel, Janine, my mother, and there are people who hold me accountable for my goals, who help me keep progressing in life. So you can have different challenge networks. So this is what a health and wellness one. You all, if you want to do just a little Q&A before we get into the workshop area. So this portion is a Q&A for me, and then there's also going to be a Q&A for Angel, our very amazing guest speaker. Yeah.
Why do you want to be a life coach, or why are you?
Sure. So I used to do poetry in college. I started doing poetry when I was 17 years old, and it initially became an outlet for me to express my emotions in a way that I didn't like to talk to other people that way. And initially it just became very personal. I enjoyed it, people tended to like it, and I was like, okay, this is cool. But the more I started to do it, the more that I realized that people really connected with me when I would tell my stories, really connected with my performance and said, hey, I really felt that. I'm actually going through a similar situation, so thank you for sharing it. And although I don't really write poetry anymore, I wanted to keep that aspect because that was my favorite aspect about poetry. And so I was like, okay, what can I do that impacts people in an immediate way that's the same sort of interaction? I'll get that same interaction. And I thought about a number of things, and I realized that, life coaching. I love reading nonfiction. I love learning about Tim Ferriss and all of these amazing individuals, John Gray, Ryan Holiday, who's the author of The Obstacles of the Way, which everybody should get. And so that's kind of what sparked that in me. And I didn't know if I would be successful at it. I was just like, you know what, I'm going to try it out. I actually started out paying people to meet up with me for coffee. And then over time, I felt comfortable enough to start charging people. And I'm here. So, yeah.
Do you have a large goal for your life coaching?
Yeah, so I hope to, it's kind of tied in with the event, Unlocking Potential. I hope to allow people, or get people to understand the power that they have. Because a lot of people look towards the external world and the resources that they don't have. And I think there's truly power within all of us, and I want people to understand that, and I want people to tap into it, and I think it's one of the most beautiful things when you're able to see it. especially over time. Oh yeah, so that's a really good question. So some people think it's therapy. It is not therapy. 1% I will never pretend to be a therapist. Those people are specifically go to school for that. So I'm not a therapist. What I would refer to myself as an accountability partner. So kind of like I'm the mastermind for you. So I'm the person who's going to hold you accountable for your goals, give you checkpoints to measure progress. If you want to vent, I'm not going to be like, okay, no, I don't do that. You know, there's obviously that relational element, but basically I hold people accountable to what they want to build out in their life. And I help people fine-tune what they want in their life, because some people don't know, which is going to be the workshop that we go over a little bit. Any other? Yeah.
You talked about how you were more of a generalist mentality. Can you talk a little bit more about how that's changed?
I think it was, honestly, I think it was big in the Greek system, because there is, as some of you probably know, a lot of bravado that goes around in the Greek system, and guys puffing out their chest and trying to be the top dog on campus. And so I think for me, it was trying to maybe compensate my insecurities, or maybe compensate the fact that I did poetry. So I'm like, yeah, I do poetry, but I'm also this like really cool partier guy who's like a hustler, and is going to be a self-made entrepreneur, all this stuff. So I think that's kind of where it came from. And then you remove yourself from that environment, and you realize that's not what it's all about. You realize that it's about the connections that you make. You realize that it's about family and just helping others. So I think that's to answer your question. Yeah. Things that I value most now. That's a good question. I think a lot of people think that they need to have everything, all the tools necessary to start their dream, to start that business, to start working towards a half marathon. When it's like you really don't need a lot. It's like, yeah, you might need to accumulate some stuff over time, but if you decide to start towards that journey, you'll figure it out along the way. So I think that's the biggest thing.
Parents, if you know very many Asians, you know that your parents want you to be a lawyer, a doctor, or a professor. Those are your three options.
Engineer.
Or an engineer. An engineer, okay. That was a really big thing back in the Philippines, so, now we'll add that. And I didn't want to be, I thought, okay, I'm really good at bio, so I entered UCLA as a pre-med major. Oh, go Bruins. Dang. Connections everywhere. I'm probably connected. You relate to me in some way, shape, or form. Hopefully. So I went to UCLA, was a pre-med major, and then I decided to change my major to art after my second year without telling my Asian parents, so that didn't really go over well. But I did it, and I decided to minor in arts education because I really feel like arts is a really safe space for people to create. So I think for me, that's where arts really held the most value to me. So, but I graduated and I was like, what the fuck am I going to do with my life? Like, I was thinking that my second year, my third year, my fourth year, I was having like a what's a fifth, whatever, life crisis. And I feel like I've had life crises every 3 years, so it happens and it's okay. You'll figure it out. So after that, I graduated from UCLA, I moved back home, and I felt like I was going from 100 miles per hour competing against some of the smartest people on the planet, and some of the most high-achieving people on the planet in terms of my age group, to feeling like I was going at like 2 miles per hour, moving back home, moving back into my parents, moving back into my own room, and everything the same, and all my friends were doing different things, and I knew that I didn't want a normal job. I just knew that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. By that time I had graduated, I had read 150 self-help books through audiobooks. So, when we watched that Jelly Bean video, I was like, oh, I was listening to audiobooks while I was using the bathroom, while I was cleaning. Like, you can get some time in. I consume a book a day, if I try. I mean, if I really but that for me was a habit, and that was part of my identity. I identified as a lifelong learner, and I think when Alex talks about being, I think you have to define the identities that you will build your habits around. So if you say that you're a spoken word artist, that means that you will do all of the habits that it takes to be a spoken word artist. So one thing that I would recommend to all of you is to think about what is that one identity, or 2 or 3 or 4 identities that you want to build your habits around, because then you're working from the top down as opposed from the bottom up. So, and those things will ring true, and you'll do those things without even thinking. And habits are actually actions that you take when you don't have to think about them anymore. So, just putting that into perspective. So, I'm back at my parents'. I'm sleeping in the same creaky ass bed that I was sleeping in ever since I was like 3. And I'm just like, wow, like I'm 20, I think I was 22 at the time, and I was like, okay, I don't know what I want to do, but I'm gonna figure it out. And slowly but surely, days kept passing, and I became more and more depressed because I wasn't doing anything that was making me exciting. I think I was just so bored but scared. I was in this space that I have token analysis paralysis, thinking about all of the choices. And if you know what that feels like, I feel like everyone knows what that feels like. You know, it can be like really heavy without it feeling like any. Like, it's heavy for no reason, and that's what makes it really frustrating. So then I was like, okay, I'm gonna do something. And I was like, okay, this was the time where French macarons were the hype. You know, like those French cookies that look like burgers, and they cost like $4, and we were like, why? But why not? Anyways, so I was like, okay, I'll just start a French macaron business with my 2 cousins, and I did. And then after a week, I realized I hated baking. So I was like, fuck. But I had made the Instagram, and during that time, I didn't break. So I was like, this is great. So in that moment, I realized I needed to quit. I needed to quit baking, and I never liked to quit. I was someone that loved following through and achieving and reaching greatness. So I quit. That was really hard. I put myself through a lot of mental drama. But when I told my cousin, they were like, oh, okay, because they weren't doing shit for it. So, because they had 2 jobs. I mean, both of them had jobs, one of them had a family, they didn't really care. So all that drama, I mean, most of the things that you think are gonna go wrong never do. So just keep that in mind when you make decisions. And the people that care about you will support the decisions that make you happy. So if they make it a big drama about them, then they're not really thinking about you. So like keep that in mind when you're making these really tough decisions, even if it means like leaving your job or quitting a business that you started with your friend, whatever. Like make decisions that make you happy, and those people that you're meant to be around will stick around. But anyway, so I did that, and then I was like, okay, now I have nothing. But I was like, I think I took out a piece of paper and I started brain-bombing every single thing that I wanted to do in the same way that you're doing on these papers. And then I realized that one thing that I kept coming up was I wanted to help people, and I wanted to create systems that help people. In my core, I feel like I'm an educator. So I brain-bombed on these things, and I thought about what was the thing that helped me the most out of my life, and for me it was a planner. But all the planners on the market really sucked. They sucked so bad. And I would buy 9 planners and then pick my favorite one and give the rest to my friends as their Christmas presents, which was perfect. But then I was like, okay, damn, I just don't like any of these planners. So I started mapping it out on pieces of paper how I want my planner to be. Like I made a mind map, wrote it all down, and then I started laying it out, and then I took out Photoshop, and I started making it on Photoshop and Word. Good old Word. And I made the planner, and I made the PDF in, I think, a week. I sent it out to my friends and told them to like give me some feedback. And as I was doing that, I Googled notebook manufacturer, and then I found my manufacturer. I Skyped with 10 different manufacturers, and then I got a sample made. As that was going on, I shot my Kickstarter video by just asking my friends that had a camera, hey, can you shoot my Kickstarter video? And they were like, when do you need it by? I said, tomorrow. And they were like, okay, we can shoot at midnight tonight. And I was like, okay. And they're like, you need a script. And I was like, okay. And then I made a script, and you know, so for me, like, whenever I would start talking, I would say the sentence and then have to lay down on the bench and then say the next sentence. So there's so many cuts, it's kind of ridiculous. To the point where in, I think, hour 3, the guy that was shooting it, he was like, yeah, just read it, and we'll just cut some B-roll over it. And I was like, great. So we wrapped it, and they edited it in a day and put it on Kickstarter. And in 30 days, I raised $48,000 for my parents' room, for my room in my parents' house. And I was like, whoa, that's crazy. I thought that's how much I would make in a year. So then the next year, I moved from my room in my parents' house to my parents' garage. That was a great upgrade there. And I helped them pay their mortgage with my rent. And had my 2 friends help me answer emails so I could start traveling. And then about a year later, I launched my second Kickstarter, and it was for the compact size. And in 30 days, raised $650,000 from 23,000 people all around the world. And that was just on Kickstarter. But on the website, I raised $1.8 million. So in total, raised about $2.4 million in a month. I went from like my parents' garage, literally that garage was like half junk and half my office. And I had 1 pallet of planners, and now I was just this huge thing. And I literally became a millionaire, I guess, over the course of 2 weeks. I went from having like 20 grand in my bank account to having like $2.4 million. And I was like, shit, I need an accountant. Because I don't know what tax looks like for this, so. But like I just figured it out along the way. I had great friends that helped me, and as of last December, we've now sold 1 million planners all around the world. So that is my story. I'm like short. I'm sure. So to date, we've donated more than 325,000 planners all around the U.S. primarily. Someone that actually wants to do something big with your life, and our company mission is to empower you to live life intentionally, and I think that's what it all comes down to. The big reason why Kickstarter became so viral the second time around was because we said, if you share this Kickstarter on any form of social media, you can download this PDF for free.
So I put on the event Unlocking Potential to help people create a sort of roadmap in their lives. What I've realized is that a lot of people, especially my age, they have a lot of bright ideas, but they don't know how to solidify that, right? Or they don't know the right steps to take in order to create certain actionable steps in their life. And so I really wanted to be able to put on an event where people felt motivated to act immediately. They felt inclined to want to, oh, okay, I can start writing that children's book, or I can go to the gym and lose 10 pounds or build 10 pounds of muscle. I have that power within me, and so that's kind of why I decided to put on the event. If the people who attended my event could take one thing away, it's that you can always change the environment that you're in, right? Or influence the environment that you're in. You don't have to have the right resources to start. Having the right resources certainly gives you a leg up, but it's not the end all be all, right? You can always create that action yourself and influence the environment. And sometimes it'll take more time than others, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't start. And so I think if they could take one thing, it's that, let's say you have this Mount Everest of a goal, and you don't have to wait till you get all of the climbing materials, right, to do that Mount Everest of a goal. You can start today.